It's that time again. Steam has one of their mega sales. I don't know about you guys, but whenever Steam has one of these sales, I have a problem. Actually, I have two problems. One is I always spend too much money. The other one is how do I figure out what to buy? There's literally thousands of games on sale on Steam. How do you swim your way through all of the games that are out there, stuff you already own, stuff you're not interested in, and find those gems? I'm here to help you with a few ideas of gems for this year's summer sale on Steam 2022. Let's take a look. And don't forget, as always, there's going to be games I forgot, games that you know about, that I should know about. Put those in the comments below. I want to know what gems you found on the Steam sale that I should play. Number 1, Chaos Galaxy. I love the aesthetic of this game. It reminds me of stuff like Into the Breach in terms of the way it looks with its pixel art, the grid-based battlefields, and just the way that you move your units around and try to attack and flank enemies and things like that. The thing is, this is way more complex than Into the Breach, which has that roguelike approach where you do a run and then you see as far as you can get. This one's much more persistent, as well as the complexity of what you're managing is way more in-depth with ships and resources that you have to manage. There's a lot to deal with. What's really cool is the Shogun and sci-fi space aesthetic mixed together, where you've got these samurai-style characters and titles and politics mixed in with space battles. It's pretty cool. This game is normally $15, $14.99, but right now you can get it for $8.24. That's 45% off. Up next at number 2 is Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. Now bear with me, I know this is not really a hidden gem. This is a pretty high-profile game from a high-profile studio that has recently been, of course, acquired. The IP rights have been acquired by the Embracer Group from Square. That's a different conversation. The thing about the Deus Ex series is the more modern games have been seemingly ignored by a lot of people. People I think would love these games. So that's why it's a gem. I know it's not some small unknown indie game, so just go with it, okay? Just let me. So Mankind Divided is an incredible game. It has all the trappings you could want in a AAA game. It's got the production values, the visual quality, the audio, the characters, the voice acting, the music. It's got it all. The set pieces, the boss battles, it's all there. And if you like stealth action gameplay where you get to pick, do I want to use gadgets? Do I want to use the environment? Do I want to just upgrade my firepower and go in guns blazing? You can do all those things in this game. It's very cool the way you upgrade your augmented self in order to be powerful enough to take on enemies. And I think the storyline's interesting too. I think it's really well done. And Adam Jensen's a great lead character. This game is normally $24.99, I think. Let me double check. No, $29.99. You can get it for 85% off. This is one of the reasons why I have it here. It's only $4.50 right now. That's a crazy deal. And you can get bundles with the other Deus Ex games in the series or the DLC. Those are all on sale. So go check that one out. Totally worth your time. Okay, at number 3, sticking with the cyberpunk theme, is Gamedec. Now, if you listen to our podcast or watch our show, you know I've talked about this game before. The guys on the show are tired of me talking about it. I don't care. This game is on sale right now, normally $29.99, but it is on sale for $18 at $17.99. This game is an isometric detective adventure game. You walk around talking to characters, investigating the environment, and making a lot of dialogue choices, a lot of investigation choices. The more meticulous and detail-oriented you are, the more successful you'll be in this game. So if you like that style of adventure game, and you want a little bit of a different take on the cyberpunk setting, we've had a lot of large-scale RPG games, a lot of action games. This one's a little bit different, and it tells a really interesting virtual reality-based story that is completely shaped by your decisions, especially at the end. My mind was kind of blown by the very end, the decisions that you get to make to shape really the futures of a whole bunch of different characters. So I think this game is really fascinating. Highly recommend it. Okay, number 4 is Grim Dawn. Now, my buddy Kyle from our podcast, you can go listen. Recently, he just talked about this game, about how he kind of discovered or rediscovered it. It's not a new game by any stretch, but it goes on sale all the time, and it's on sale right now for $5, normally $25. So that's 80% off. This game is on sale a lot though, so you could always wish list it if you're not sure you want to get it yet, but come on, $5 for a really excellent Diablo-like action RPG. It's got that isometric view. You have classes to choose from, this really cool fantasy environment. And listen, the name Grim is not joking. It's very dark, very grim, but don't let that fool you. The visuals really do pop, especially in the combat when you have lots of explosions and fire and magic and all these things happening all at once and enemies jumping at you. Very, very visually grabbing, and I think they did a good job with this game. I think it's a lot of fun, and if you like Diablo, why not give this one a try? All right, number 5. This is a game I just recently started playing, and I am loving it. It's one of my new favorite games at the moment. I love it. It's called King Arthur Knight's Tale. This is a game that's been on my radar for a couple of months. I'm here to assure you this game is completely worth the $30 that it's on sale for right now. Normally $45, so it's not a huge discount, and it's one of the pricier games that I'm listing here, but I think it's totally worth it. If you like XCOM and you're thinking, hey, this would be cool if it weren't in a sci-fi setting with laser guns, what if it were in a King Arthur setting? Here you go. That's exactly what this is. It's a really cool take on the Arthurian legend and Camelot and the Knights of the Round Table and all that, with lots of, I would actually describe it as Lord of the Rings style magic and lore thrown into it. It's very deep, very mystical, very magic filled, and very dark. I think it's really, really good. Great voice acting already throughout the game from what I've played. And then that XCOM turn-based style action. So really, really good. If you like tactical RPGs, give this one a shot. All right, number 6, another turn-based tactical RPG, very XCOM-like, and that's Othercide. Othercide is very different from something like King Arthur. This is set in some weird dystopian, I would imagine, future or alternate reality, very much not real life. It's all very black and white. It's very interesting visual style, where you've got lots of blacks and whites and grays, and then you get these splashes of red from blood or from character clothing. It's just really, really creative visually, and it looks really cool. But it is that grid-based XCOM kind of isometric view style, where you're moving characters around one at a time based on your ability points or activity points that you might have. Then you can either shoot or set up an overwatch or just charge in an attack depending on your tactics for that battle. And the whole lore of this is that there's a spirit of this mother warrior who is bringing back her daughters, bringing them back to life. And then you pick the class for them, you can name them, and you want to upgrade them as much as you can. But here's the catch. Once they die, they're dead for good. So really interesting game, very unique. I highly recommend checking out Othercide. Normally $30, only $12 right now. Great discount for that one. All right, number 7 is Tales of Iron. I know you've been wondering, what would it be like to play a side-scrolling Souls-like as a rat? Well, here you go. The aesthetic is very storyboard cutout look with the animation and the way the characters look, very detailed, really good art style in this game, and you are Prince Reggie trying to reclaim your kingdom from these evil frogs. And I mean evil. That's not nice. It's remarkably violent, considering these are all these anthropomorphic animals that are walking around talking. Very violent, but very interesting. Lots of creatures to meet, lots of characters, and pretty predictable story, but still entertaining nonetheless. This is, interestingly, one of 2 games in the last couple of years that I've gotten 100% completion on. I don't usually do that. I don't usually go for the platinum trophies and 100% on Steam. Usually I'm ready to move on to the next thing, but Death's Door and Tales of Iron are the 2 games recently that have just hooked me enough to make me want to finish it. So I highly recommend Tales of Iron. Normally $25. Right now it's 50% off. You can get it for $12.50. Go check that one out. All right, at number 8 we have V Rising. Kind of one of the more interestingly titled games on our list here. But V Rising is an early access, so just wanted to give you a heads up there. It's not fully released yet, but much like Valheim from last year, it feels like a complete experience. And even though you know there's more they're going to add at the end of the game, you can get dozens and dozens of hours out of this thing easily, and more, depending on how much you get into it. But here's the elevator pitch. Create your own vampire, build your own castle, go hunt freely at night or stay in the shadows during the day, take on dozens and dozens of bosses that unlock really important upgrades and new forms for you to take on, and also sometimes bosses that hunt you. So it's very interesting. The combat is a Diablo-like, sort of. It's kind of an action RPG that starts out very simple, a little repetitive. I wasn't sure what I thought about it. And then I started getting new weapons, and I started upgrading those weapons. And once you start to get new materials to make better versions, now you unlock new movesets, and then you start beating bosses, and you get even more special moves. Next thing you know, you've got a full-fledged RPG based on vampires. It's awesome. So, highly recommend this one. It's not a very big discount. I'm mainly highlighting because it's just so excellent, and I'd love to support the developers as they complete this game. Normally $20, you can get it for $18, only 10% off. Still a great game. Great value for $18. Go check it out. All right, lastly, zombies. Okay, we're going alphabetical order. Z is naturally going to be at the end. This one's called Zombie Night Terror. Now, in most zombie apocalypse games, you are the humans trying to survive. You have hordes of zombies coming after you, and you're trying to survive. That's usually the case, with a few exceptions. Well, this game flips the script, and not only are you controlling the zombies in a way, I'll talk about that in a second, but you started this thing in the first place. So the very first mission actually has you begin the apocalypse. You start infecting people right out of the gate. And then after that, it becomes this think of like Lemmings, where you see the whole level for the most part. As you scroll around, you can see a kind of a side-scrolling view of the level, and then you use the environment, special action commands, and special abilities to control the zombies and hopefully put them in a position where they can infect all the humans in that level. That's the idea. And you want to lose as few zombies as possible because you want to maintain your horde, right? So really interesting take, very funny, very tongue-in-cheek humor. It's not serious whatsoever, but I like the style of it. And here's the thing. It's normally $13, and right now it's only $1.30, so it's 90% off. Really a lot of bang for your buck on this one. There's no reason not to get it. It's $1. Come on, go get it. Alright, so that's it for our Steam Summer Sale gems. I know there was only 9 games and there's thousands here, but hey, there's lots of recommendations floating around out there. I've done some searches as well. I've watched some videos. Lots of great recommendations out there, but those are mine. Make sure you tell me what I'm supposed to be playing with this summer sale. What games am I missing out on? What are some gems that you found? I want to hear about them. Thanks for watching. See ya!